you
Yeah.
have to always believe that you actually deserve the best, right? To come to you. And then also know that whatever comes in that's challenging
Mhm.
isn't about your self-worth or your value, but like it's there to help test you, to help you grow as a human being on this earth.
Mhm.
I wish I had known that when I was younger, but I didn't. So now
Well,
I live my life that way.
well, that's growth and lessons, right? So
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense. But talking about the other shoe dropping,
Mm,
that scene with Faith and Jalen, and they get into an argument because of, the bills not being
yeah.
paid. And they have the fight, and then a few scenes later, Jalen passes. So, how did you prepare emotionally for that storyline, and did it stir anything personal for you?
For sure. I mean, I think I've been there where you're like, I don't know how I'm going to make ends meet. Like, I'm going to need to make money. Like, I've been there sooner than you realize, where you're just like, when's the next job coming? A lot of fear and anxiety. And when you're on the other side of like, how am I going to get through?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can get completely wrapped up in that. And
Right.
then it affects everything instead of being able to see on the other side of it. So I
Mhm.
could definitely pull from real life experience to prepare for that scene, because I understand that place where you just go into fear mode, right? And so I could definitely relate. I understood.
Yeah. And that's so relatable, especially since being in the creative field, entertainment, and but acting on the other side is just like, when's the next gig, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I want to talk about Ms. Loretta Devine for a moment because we love her, but her character was something else. Let's talk about an overbearing in-law, okay?
Mm.
So what do you think the film says about boundaries and chosen family?
Oh gosh, that's really interesting.
Hmm.
Loretta's amazing in this, I mean, and you'll have to watch it to see where the relationship goes. But
Hmm.
we've done this dance before where she's been the in-law, the mother-in-law that didn't like me very much. And that was
Love
it.
jumping the broom, by the
Jumping the
way.
broom. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think, you know what? I actually think the lesson here is that everybody in our life, even the people that challenge us, are
Hmm.
there to help us grow. And if we can look at it from a more loving point of view, then we can grow more quickly instead of trying to get rid of them or wish they didn't exist. To
Hmm.
know that actually that pressure, that challenge she felt from her
Hmm.
mother-in-law actually pushed her to grow,
Yeah.
pushed her to be better. And
Mhm.
so at the end of her life, she's going to be like, thank you very much. So somehow we all have to learn how to turn those challenging relationships into a place of love and going, I know you're helping me down the line right now. It don't feel like it, but
Mhm.
in the future, it's going to make me a better person.
Absolutely. Listen, Faith is a real one because I don't know how she did it and came back around and was like,
Mm.
you know what, you're still my mom. But
Because I think you realize that she was loving her son. Like people don't know what they're doing. Like
Mhm.
it's never really about you. It's more about their own pain, their own guilt. And when you can get past that, you can love and forgive anybody.
Oh, okay, come on. That was deep. I love that. Yeah. So, you've been open about your own journey with sobriety, and in this
Yes.
film, your character, of course, Faith, walks a similar path. So,
Mm.
what emotional or personal truths did you draw from to bring authenticity to that struggle on screen, and how did you protect your own peace while doing that?
Ooh, I definitely drew from personal experience. I knew what it was like to be in pain and feel like you didn't know how to deal with it. Like you couldn't
Mhm.
feel it, so you had to numb it. I
Mhm.
could relate to that tremendously. But it was really tricky when I went back to play being inebriated. Like I hadn't been inebriated in such a long time that felt a little unsafe, to be honest with you. It
Yeah.
was scary for me.
Mhm.
And I was lucky that I had a friend of a friend who had just recently gotten sober who could really remind me
Mhm.
of what that was like. And then when I was doing those scenes, it was kind of cathartic. It was really scary,
Mhm.
but then it was almost being able to face the darkest parts of yourself, the
Mhm.
scariest bits, and and then be like, it's okay, I forgive you. I even love all those places. I know why. I get it. You're forgiven.
Mhm.
That's what happened through it. But when it was happening, it felt kind of scary, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And let's talk about the whole issue with like, sharing trauma and Maria,
Mm.
her character, having the wrong company can be more dangerous than being alone. So what do you think?
Mm.
What do you think?
That was well said, Chet. Yes.
Absolutely. Like, they
Yes,
were together and they shared in the same trauma, but was she really helping Faith in the long run? So, what do you think
right.
this film teaches us about the impact of the people we let into our lives? Loyalty
Mm.
versus the betterment of yourself.
You know what? It's so important to create boundaries in your life and know that, like, you got to look at what's around you. It's always a mirror of where you're at. So if you're like, I'm not liking this person or this person's trouble or what have you, it's really you. Like, nothing in our world is anything but a reflection of what's happening inside of us. So it's also okay because sometimes you need to go through it. You need to experience that to get on the other side. And that person is helping you. And you two are either going to grow together or grow apart. But
Hmm.
what I was told once, which I love, is that love never dies. So if you're meant to be in somebody's life,
Hmm.
they'll always come back to you. And if it was only for a season, it will pass. But
Hmm.
love never dies.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Do you know
No,
what I
it,
mean?
it
Like,
makes a
it
lot of
means
sense because
like,
yeah.
sorry, like if like 2 years from now, they may be in a different place and you're meant to come together. If there was real love and real
Mhm.
friendship there, it will find its way back. And if not, then it was meant to move away.
I love that because that continues on and that even speaks to your character because it speaks to your maturity. Yeah, I really love that. Yeah,
Mm.
I love that a lot. And of course, the title is Finding Faith. The character is Faith, and that speaks a lot of volumes. Do you think faith is something that finds us or something we have to actively search for?
Oh, we have to find faith. Faith
Oh,
is within us. It's about remembering who we are and that there's nothing to be afraid of. But being a human being on this earth, that's what we're up against, right? Is constantly like, oh God, what if it doesn't? Or what? All this fear.
mhm,
But our whole point is to remember to have faith that we're all always being taken care of by God.
mhm,
We're always protected, and that whatever challenges come into our life, we can handle it. We absolutely can. So the moment you just turn into, I can handle this.
mhm,
God wouldn't have put it in front of me if I couldn't.
mhm.
And when I really feel like I can't, I'm going to put it at God's feet and just trust and know. And we always get to the other side. I think the only problem that happens is when we worry about what other people think about us, how it looks. You know what I mean? All the ego stuff. The ego is what messes us up. But if we can get out of the ego and have faith, then we can have peace.
Hmm. I love that. And also, you are a powerful woman, and Faith is a strong woman. And, she's a great representation of women who overcome. So, especially, what advice do you have for women feeling stuck or overwhelmed? And what can they take away from watching
Mm.
the film?
Ooh, I mean, first of all, I understand feeling stuck and feeling alone deeply. And it is a process to get to the other side. And it's, you know what? The greatest advice that someone ever gave me is that you take one step towards having faith, one step towards God, and the universe and God comes and helps push you forward. So, like, it's just one baby step towards being more positive, towards making one small change in your life. And
Mhm.
then suddenly a current comes to come help push you the distance you need to go. It's just you've got to just in the dark take that one step towards progress, one step towards loving yourself, one step towards trust, and you will get that. And to know that I really believe this, those of us who have the most challenge
Mhm.
ask for it in this time so that we could grow spiritually. It's to remember that it doesn't matter our jobs, our titles, any of it. It's the growing of our heart and our souls. That's what we came to earth to do.
I love that. Listen, I love this, Paula. I love it. And speaking of you from the past, and then also your character
Hmm.
Faith, if you two were to sit down, if Faith was to sit down with the Paula from 10 to 15 years ago, what do you think they teach each other?
The Polymer 10 years ago would be like, let's go party.
Yeah.
Come on, Faith, let's go to the bar. No, um, but I think that 10 years ago, it depends on which part. I think I knew though. It was funny, even when you're going through chaos, you
Mhm.
kind of sense where you are meant to be. Um, that's a really tricky question. I don't know. I don't know if they could be that helpful to each other at that moment. I
Mhm.
think not when she's in her darkest place, but when Faith is on the other end of it, she could certainly have given Paula from 10 years ago a helping hand and say, there's another way.
Or better question, the Paula of today, what would she teach Faith?
Um, the Paula of today would tell her that um, hmm, not to be afraid
Hmm.
and to know that she is loved by God
Hmm.
truly, and that this difficulty will pass. It always does.
I love that. I really love that. And before I let you go, Paula, what's next for you?
Oh
I know
gosh.
you're directing the film about your father, so I'm
Yes,
interested
that's
in.
on the deck. I've written that with my best friend Victor, and that's like the main big goal. But I just finished a feature film with Joe McGale that was great, and then another fun horror pick with Terrence
Yeah.
Howard that was super fun.
Yeah.
And I've got some projects that I'm producing that I'm excited about in television. So that's what's up.
Talk
And
about,
being a mom, most important of all.
of course, and he's growing up. I can't believe he's as big as he is now. Like, I remember when he was born, so
Oh, it's
yeah.
crazy, right? I can't believe it either.
Mhm. Paula, thank you so much.
uh,
Thank you. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you. I've been
uh,
watching you for well over 10 years. So to see you doing well and still as gorgeous as ever, I'm just
Aw,
really happy for you. So
thank you.
congratulations on everything, and I hope you have continued success.
Thank you, Chet. That means so much. I really appreciate it. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, bye.